Hi, I'm Chloe. Thank you for visiting our video. Find out why our team can provide you the best services for your needs. Hundreds of clients can't be wrong. Check out the following video.
Real Estate with Realtor Kashif Sohail. Welcome to Washington America Show with international multimedia journalist, multidimensional, multifaceted artist and director of Human Rights Justice Council USA, Dr. Kashif Sohail.
When we discuss the U.S. economy, we often reference home sales. What is the relationship between the rate and price at which U.S. homes sell in the state of the U.S. economy? The two concepts are twisted together. Greater home sales can improve the economy, and a good economy can increase home sales.
The economy consists of many economic factors, but the strength or size of the U.S. economy is measured by many economic indicators. Real disposable personal income measures how much money each American has on hand to purchase goods or services and to save. Real disposable income consists of two elements: personal income and disposable income. Personal income is all income earned by people living in U.S. from any source. Disposable personal income is the remaining income after deducting taxes.
To calculate real disposable income, you must divide disposable income by the U.S. population, making it a per capita measurement, and adjust disposable income for inflation. Figures for this indicator are released on a monthly basis by the Department of Commerce.
A positive percentage change means that there is a general increase in a country's standard of living, since there is more disposable income available. Countries with rising populations must have a greater increase in real income in order to accommodate its new citizens.
Fractional increases in real disposable personal income are a good economic sign, but this figure tends to follow the business cycle. That is, it rises in a time of economic growth and descends during a recession.
The Beige Book is published 8 times throughout the year, but the dates change on a yearly basis. The Beige Book plays a role when the details outline surprising results. When this happens, the market fluctuates and affects investments. However, with so many annual versions, surprises are not frequent. On a more general basis, the Beige Book forecasts what the Federal Reserve Board will do with interest rates.
The Federal Open Market Committee receives this book before interest rate meetings and often uses it as a reference. Therefore, if rates change, the reasons are often reflected in the Beige Book. The Beige Book compiles subjective information on the latest economic conditions from the point of view of the Federal Reserve banks. The Beige Book informs investors about the strength of the economy in general terms and the confidence many officials have in its future. Data in the Beige Book are divided by economic sector to enable analysis of specific domains.
Like the Beige Book, the Consumer Confidence Index findings are developed from surveys of personal opinion. The survey asks a sample of 5,000 American households about current business conditions, the job market, and their confidence in the economy. Overall, consumer confidence is a measure of how confident a consumer is that the economy is good, and whether they feel financially safe enough to make significant purchases.
There are two widely accepted sources of consumer confidence: the Consumer Confidence Index, prepared by the Conference Board, and the Consumer Sentiment Index, prepared by the University of Michigan. In analyzing any consumer sentiment index, it is most important to determine the trend of the index over several months. The trend over several months is the undeniable benchmark, not the percentage change from a year ago for the month at hand.
The large assumption built into consumer confidence numbers is that the typical consumer is homogeneous, which could potentially cause a sampling bias and subjectivity across regions. Therefore, consumer confidence ratings are questioned by some.
It is clear that the consumption of goods and services is what drives an economy and causes it to shrink or expand. Often, there is a correlation between an increase in the index over 6 months and a rise in job creation, higher wages, and low interest rates. The CCI is therefore very relevant.
Since it projects Americans' views on the economy, the Federal Reserve often uses it to decide whether to hike or lower interest rates. Also, the index results are separated by region, giving consumers a good idea of what the real estate market is like in their area.
Strong interest rates coupled with high consumer confidence usually results in a strong market for home sales. Low interest rates, for example, means that a consumer pays a lower monthly house payment. That is, the typical consumer can purchase a more expensive home when interest rates are lower.
Gross domestic product (GDP) is the market value of goods and services produced by labor and property in the United States, regardless of nationality. GDP replaced GNP as the primary measure of U.S. production in 1991. GDP is one of the most important economic indicators. It takes into account consumption, trade, government purchases, and investments, among other items.
Advance reports of the GDP are released at the end of every quarter, but the most accurate figures are put out annually. Market expectations are compared to the GDP when it is released, and if the difference between the two is favorable, stock prices can rise.
Investors look at the current dollar's GDP for the market value of goods and services, while the real GDP uses constant dollars in order to provide a benchmark for previous year's results. Economists often consider a growth rate between 2% and 3% to be healthy, and market performance usually increases when the GDP falls in this range.
Standard & Poor's Index, S&P 500, is now considered the true gauge of the U.S. stock market. As the name suggests, the index includes 500 different stocks selected for their market size, liquidity and diversity. With this large sample, the S&P 500 covers most areas of the U.S. economy.
The
The figures you see on television are calculated by giving each stock in the index a proportional representation, according to the dollar value of all outstanding shares. Every second after the market bell rings, the S&P 500 is subject to change. Since the S&P is such a good indicator of the stock market, investors always have their eye on its fluctuations.
So, since you've learned more about us, click the link in the description to see how you can contact us.
Please share this video, subscribe to our channel.
Are you looking to buy or sell a home anytime soon? If so, you've come to the right place. We'd like to give you the opportunity to work with one of the top local real estate agents and get the best deal when buying or selling a home. The fact is, experienced agents can often get you a 2 to 10% better deal on the purchase or sale of a property, mostly due to their experience in the local marketplace and their ability to negotiate the best deal. So contact our top agent now and start the process of buying or selling your home.